Well, hello and welcome everyone to Kenny Bears Arms. So we're apparently getting closer to one of the ends of the legislative session. They're still trying to push more gun control, and I found this article here for Minnesota here. It says 6 weeks left in Minnesota state legislative session. Gun control advocates are working to get what they say are common sense gun bills passed before it comes to a close. Um, so as we know, they're trying in Minnesota to get mostly the red flag and universal background checks through the legislative session here. So this is shortly after Easter here. This is really interesting here because there's a lot of like weird things that you know how the media loves to like spin things for their own narrative and stuff like that. We all know that. So they took a little break for like Easter and stuff. In the time since the legislators left for their Easter and Passover break, there have been 8 mass shootings in just that time in the U.S. Emery said, "We have 6 weeks of legislation left. How many more mass shootings are there going to be in that time?" Now, we all know that there's been some, like, the media likes to pick and choose which mass shootings, which is also a very loosely defined term. They like to cherry pick which ones they like to. And just like over this past weekend in Chicago, there's 35 people shot, 8 fatally. It's like, but the media is not really saying much about that. I really haven't seen much about it myself, which is just kind of goes to show like how biased they are. Emery says Minnesota saw 570 gun deaths in 2021, 70% of which were suicides. Well, given the population in Minnesota, what we're like 3.5 million or something like that, almost like I don't know where we're at now, but I think it's like 3.5 million or something like that in Minnesota. 570 is not a lot of deaths, especially considering that 70% of those were suicides. Wow. Okay. So when you take out the 70%, what? If my math is correct, 171 like homicide firearm deaths. That's a really tiny number considering the population and how many guns exist in America and all that stuff. That's a tiny number. I'm not trying to like marginalize the deaths because we don't want people to die from like homicides or gun violence. Like we get that, right? But like they like to like Governor Walz again, like a while ago was threatening like the legislators like if you don't vote for my gun control, like my universal background checks and red flag laws, you're not getting elected next year or something like that. You know, I was just like, dude, like, what do you like? Really? Like, they don't see the truth here, and it kind of seems like the reason I'm bringing up this video is because it kind of seems like there's actually quite a bit of Democratic legislators that are kind of hesitant on voting for some of this stuff. So I don't know if you guys have been doing like I'm a small channel obviously, and I don't get a ton of views, but maybe some of you guys have been sharing this with your friends and family over the holidays and stuff like that when you're getting together and you're like, hey, we need to actually do something. We need to get our voices heard a little bit more. I didn't get to go out to the rally. I missed that, which really sucked. The protest at the protest rally, whatever you want to call it, at the Capitol a while ago for like the protesting these bills and stuff. So it's just wild that like, yeah. So at the end of this article here, I'll link this down to the bottom here too. But support appears to be lacking to get these bills across the finish line and onto Governor Walz's desk, which is good. So maybe the things like I was saying, the protests, you guys hopefully talking with each other, getting the word out, spreading the word out, and talking to our legislators and emailing them, writing them, whatever, calling them, whatever you guys are doing to like say, hey, we don't need this. This is not going to help anything. We know it's not going to help anything. The only thing that's going to hurt is the law-abiding citizen, you and me, from practicing our Second Amendment rights. Like, I saw a tweet from a lady on here today, and she's like, Jayapal tweeted out, someone's right to carry does not obliterate our rights to live. I tweeted her back. I'm like, what about my right to live, though? Like, why does me not wanting to protect my right to live? Like, why are we marginalizing my rights to protect myself, my right to live? Like, that's why we have the Second Amendment, is to protect ourselves, to protect our country against tyrannical governments, to protect our right to live a free life. Like, no, like, lady, you clearly don't get it, lady. I don't know. I'm ranting, guys. I'm sorry. But it seems like what we're doing is working. These people do not understand this, but it seems like we have enough people backing us to make a difference. So keep doing it, you guys. I think we're going to win. Maybe Minnesota will stay a good state. Maybe we can keep a hold of our rights a little bit longer in this state, you guys. Like, comment, consider subscribing. I'm sorry about the rant. I'm just excited that we might actually not get universal background checks and red flag laws here, you guys. That'd be amazing, right? Oh, well. Let's keep up the fight. Let's keep going. Let's keep doing it. And, yeah. That's all I got for you right now. Stay tuned to the channel. I got more stuff coming. Don't worry. We'll get out to the range and stuff soon here. The weather is crazy here in Minnesota. We just had another massive snowstorm and stuff like that again. It's just, I can't get, maybe I need to leave the state for that reason.